Welcome YouTubers, fellow Parkinson's travelers. This is Shaking and Baking with Parkinson's. My name is Jamie, aka Sugar. Shakes and bakes if you want. Today, what are we gonna make? Brioche buns. So, going to the grill, you're cooking hamburgers, you make your beautiful hamburger, put everything on it, you put it on that bun you got from the store, and it just doesn't hold. Like, man, this would be the perfect burger. You see those restaurant burgers with a steak knife jabbed through the top of them. This is the bun you want for those. So simple to make. All the ingredients go straight into the mixer. There's no kneading. You don't have to do anything. I love making bread. Bread is my... Ooh. I love bread. But this recipe, everything into the mixer, let it rise, form them, bake them. That's it. Anybody can make brioche buns. Could you imagine the next cookout you have when people come over, you bring out these hamburgers and you put them on these beautiful brioche buns. They're huge. You make a burger like this and it will hold everything in there. They go, where'd you get these buns? You go, yeah, I whipped them up this afternoon. What? That's what we're gonna make today. Let's get to baking. Okay, here we are. Like I said, this is an enriched dough. So the enriched dough, what is the difference in that and regular dough? Well, it's got more money. It's enriched, right? Anyway, okay, bad joke. Enriched dough, I'm adding milk. I'm adding something to the dough. It's not just yeast, flour, water, a little salt. This actually has milk in it. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that milk. Got a cup of full fat milk, and I'm gonna do 3 eggs. 3 eggs. We're gonna break them right here. 1, using that counter, so we're gonna get the shells in there. 2, 3. Ooh, one of the prettiest break there. Okay, mix this up just a little bit. Next, everything goes in, but there is an order. We're gonna add all of the flour. It's 500 grams of strong bread flour. So, bread flour, you find it pretty much any, well, pretty much store. Target has anything like King Arthur bread flour, but it does really well. Okay, so this is the important part. The only part you really have to pay attention to the order. Taking the yeast, this is 20 grams of yeast. I'm adding it on one side, over here on this side of the bowl. 21 grams of yeast. Well, how much is that? If you have one of the 3 packs of yeast that you bought, it's the whole thing. So you don't want no cutting, no thing. You get to use the whole 3 pack. Put all that in there. Now I've got the salt. And I'm gonna take the salt, I'm putting it on the opposite side. So I've got my yeast over here, I've got my salt over here. The reason you do that is because if the salt and the yeast are on top of each other, the salt will deactivate the yeast, it'll kill the yeast. So you won't get any rise on there. Also have 50 grams, the recipe is going to be of castor sugar. I do use castor sugar. You can find it online. I think that's where I found this. You can find it at Whole Foods some places. That's going to go on the same side as the salt. So I've got the salt and the sugar on this side. I've got the yeast on this side. You can see where I missed a little bit on it. Then we've got 50 grams of cold butter. Now I've left it in the fridge until I use it. I want the butter to be cold. I've already cut it. I took weighed out 50 grams of butter, went ahead and cut it up, put it back on part of the wax wrapper for the butter, and I'm just gonna lay this butter right on top of everything else. Then we mix. Medium speed, about 4 or 5 minutes. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, so we've got that done. Dough looks good. After the first couple minutes of mixing it, I had the paddle on there. You do swap to the dough hook, as you see right here. But that dough is pulled away after about 12, 13 minutes mixing. It pulls away nicely from the sides of the bowl. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take a little bit of flour, and I'm going to put a little bit of flour, just a little dusting, because I do want to make this into a ball. So I'm going to dust my workspace just with a little bit of flour. I'm going to turn this dough out. you've never made a ball out of this dough, don't have much work for bread, don't be afraid of it. What we'll do is we'll take the corners, kind of make our little ball, take this corner, fold it in, fold it over, fold it over, fold it over, go around twice, tuck that last little bit in, there you go. So, I've got a bowl, put this in here, take a little bit of flour, flour bowl, got a little flour in it, make sure that's good and covered in flour, bowl is. Now, I'm gonna let this rise for an hour. So it's about double this size. If your kitchen's warm, just cover it in a wet towel or anything, it'll rise right here. If your kitchen's cool, if it's cool out, you're gonna put it in the oven. Somewhere that's not drafty, you just don't want it draft. So let this go do some work. Okay, so that has risen. Take this dough and scraper. We'll get me a little flour. I'll flour my surface just a little bit. That helps to keep some of the dough from sticking. Because now I'm gonna make the buns. And I'm going to, I got 2 baking trays out with parchment paper on them. All right, let's brush that out. It looks really good. Okay, this makes 8 hamburger buns. You can make 16 if you want to do smaller rolls. But I'm going to make a hamburger, so I do hamburger buns. So see right there, that flour keeps everything from sticking. So, how do I get 16 out of this? Could get my, if I'm really exact, I can weigh each one. But what I like to do, I need 8. So I'm going to divide that in half, move it over. I need 4 out of this, 4 out of this, 4 out of this. We'll do it in half again. I need 2 out of this. And 2 out of this. On my trays. Okay, so how do you make a bun? Remember how we did the folded it in on itself? Do the same thing. Fold it in, hit the corners, fold them in on themselves. Fold them in, fold them in, fold them in, fold them in. Tuck that right underneath there. Now this is going to rise some. So, take that, boop, on the tray. Next one, and we fold the corners in on themselves. Fold in on itself. You can feel the dough getting tight when you do that as you fold it in. I may have to, get a little round with my hands. And there we go. It's going to be 4 trays. So I'll stagger them. I'll show you the tray in just a minute. You see, on the parchment, I'll stagger them on the tray like so. Alright. Fold in, fold it on itself again. This one's a little smaller, but that's okay. Maybe somebody will want a small burger. It's a total about 8 or 9 folds. There we go. Okay, so you see we have our brioche buns. They have risen. What I've done now is, as those were finished up rising, I had 2 eggs and added some salt to it. I beat that together and let that sit for a few minutes. The salt is going to break down the egg and make that easier to brush on here. Now, right before, as soon as I took these out, I added a tablespoon of milk to the egg, mix that together. Now I'm just going to brush the tops of these. I've got my oven at 400 degrees. And this is what's going to give that brioche color. Everybody knows about the way the top of a brioche bun and has that firmness and has that beautiful dark brown. See, that salt has made this egg very easy to brush on here. And these are going to make a very good hamburger. Okay, into the oven we go. Okay, so we got about another minute to go before I pull these out of the oven, and I'm gonna let them cool, and then slice these things. Absolutely, it's one of the best things you could put a hamburger on. will change your entire grilling life. So as you see, very simple recipe. These things are gonna, what you see that shine, that milk and the egg and everything, what it does to it, beautiful. So while we got a minute or so, a little bit, remember, if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. Make sure you have the little bell for notifications turned on. That way you'll get a notification every time I put a new video out. I'm going to post these once a week. Big shout out to Parkinson's Association of Alabama. I've got their links down there. If you're in Alabama and need some resources on Parkinson's, know if someone in your life needs some more information, please click the link down there. Also, got Michael J. Fox and Davis Finney, links to those things down there. Also, I'm going to have a link down there for a buddy, the Trembling EMT. He has a podcast, and it is unbelievable. You can get it on Stitcher, you can get it, I think, anywhere you can get a podcast, that's where it is. Trembling EMT, check him out. He's huge on Instagram too. I'll put his Instagram feed on there. Always posting things, let you know what's going on. He has a foundation that he's also working with called Grace Strong, that's Parkinson's related. Check that out, support him, do what you can to help him out in this as we go down this travel. So that is the noise, that's the beep. Let's check these things out. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at those. Look at these. I'm actually going to put these in for another minute or two because I want those to darken up a little bit. Just a little bit. But these here, holy cow. That absolutely is, that's perfect for a burger. But like I was saying, Grace Strong Foundation. Check him out. Check out his podcast, Trembling EMT. I think you'll really like it. Funny guy. He's got some good advice. He does a lot of talks about that different things with Parkinson's. He talks a lot with his therapists and other people who are going through the same fight with us. He's been featured by Michael J. Fox in their newsletter. But please subscribe, like the video. Tell everybody about this video. Tell everybody about this channel. There's going to be some really cool things coming up. But if you have any ideas for things you want to see baked, or things you want to see, a recipe you want to see me try, or things that you'd like me to talk about or to share with, please put a comment down the bottom. Let me know. I will read every comment. I will reply to the comments. I would love to hear from you. So with that, we're going to check out this last little tray, see how they turn out. Move these over, let them cool off. Oh my goodness, these are going to be perfect. Ooh. All right, let's get these out and check them out. Oh yeah, that's all it needed. All it needed. Look at those. Move them over here, let those cool off as well. Don't burn yourself like I just did. So please, like this video, share this video. We'll get the word out there that, you know what? Shaking and baking, that's where it's at. But anyway, that is today's video. Thank you for joining in. Again, please tell everybody about this. And as I always like to say, let's bring these over. Let me get these over here in this view so you can see what these things look like one time. Move this out of the way. This is all together. This is going to be the shot right here. Those right there. That's going to make some good burgers tonight, folks. Like we say, the road may sometimes be shaky, but it will always be tasty. Thanks again.